So I want to bring in Martin Capital founder, CEO, Rod Martin. And Rod, you know, when you hear that this tariff effort will result in a new global world order with China at the top and somehow America on the outside looking in, what are your thoughts?
It's just absurd. And for all the reasons you've just stated, America is the indispensable nation and particularly indispensable to China. We're their biggest trading partner. We're just about everybody's biggest trading partner, and we buy a lot more than we sell. Now, we need to fix that. We certainly need to open their markets to more American products. We need to manufacture more. We certainly need to produce a lot more energy and export it, especially to our allies. But the truth is, we buy a lot of stuff, 1.2 trillion more this last year than we sold. And that means they can't do without us. How on earth are they going to stay afloat if they lose their biggest customer?
This morning, you posted a new report. The title is very intriguing, right? Trump reorganizes the chessboard again. So tell us about that.
Well, this is a much broader based strategy than just trade when it comes to China. If you look at Trump's policies in general on trade, you know, first off, he has these one-off deals like getting Mexico not to let fentanyl across the border. Getting NATO to spend more on defense. He certainly wants to open up markets to U.S. goods. And in the process of that, these zero tariff deals, such as we're hearing from Argentina and Vietnam, make a ton of sense in light of his comments at the G7 in 2018, where he said, look, I'm a working guy. I believe that a complete lack of trade barriers is the ideal outcome. But China is different. China threatens to nuke American cities. China threatens to invade Taiwan. China is an enemy, and we may be able to work with that enemy. Maybe we can be frenemies, but we can't be unrealistic about who they are and what they're seeking to do. And Donald Trump intends to isolate them. It isn't going to work the other way around.
Right.
China is the one on the short end of this stick.
And I like the way you framed that, because messaging is a big thing. In fact, Scott Bessent made some comments at the Milken conference I want to share with you in the audience.
The American economy is unstoppable. Each time the American economy gets knocked down, it gets back up again. And it gets back up even stronger than it was before. U.S. markets are anti-fragile. Indeed, the entire history can be distilled into just 5 words: up and to the right. The United States is entering a new golden age of economic prosperity for both Main Street and Wall Street.
You know, no, Rod, I guess people don't know history, right? We had 4 panics in the second half of the 1800s, 4 Great Depressions, so to speak, and at the same time eclipsed the Great Britain as the preeminent nation in the world. What is it about Americans and what is it about folks on Wall Street that they don't believe we can keep doing that?
They have a very unrealistic view of American history if they understand American history at all. America has become the preeminent power for a lot of reasons, but the biggest is we're just the freest. We don't put people in jail for posting memes like Keir Starmer is doing. We don't follow you around with a social credit score like China. We have the freedom to speak and therefore the freedom to innovate with the least restrictions on innovation of any major country. And certainly we can improve on that. And I'm so happy that Donald Trump is committed, as he was in his first term, to reducing regulation, to encouraging economic output, encouraging investment here. But the truth is that happens either way. America is special. It is truly exceptional in the way that you said.
Yeah, it's interesting that Noro Rubini, in his rebuke against tariffs, actually underscored the fact that maybe we should take advantage of our size and scope now for just a fair deal. That's all we're asking for, is a fair deal.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that is, again, the crux of Trump's comments at the 2018 G7.
Yeah.
Just couldn't be plainer than day. But the truth is our European allies had no appetite for that. They didn't want to spend more on defense. They certainly didn't want to open their markets.
They're spending it now, Rod, that's for sure. Hey, great work as usual. Thanks for coming on.